Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network, for the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews. Press 1. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. From the Popcorn Talk Network and producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, and Phil Svitek, this is iTalk Movies. Long-form interviews with leading members of the film industry. And now, your host of iTalk Movies.
Caroline, ba, ba, ba. Hey, this is a beautiful moment today. I love it. I love it. Hey guys, I'm your host Stacey Ike for Popcorn Talk, iTalk Movies, and I'm super excited today to introduce a special guest, Miss Caroline Berry, as you can tell by the song. Hello, hello, darling.
Hi.
You look great. You look fresh. You look like the song is all for you.
Yes. Well,
Love it, love it,
Thank
love
you.
it. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
of course.
How did you feel about coming and talking again about the movie? It's so exciting to hear you and your journey into LA, and I just can't wait to get into it. So,
Oh, thank you.
first, let's just talk. Okay, you know what? Instead of doing movie, I'm gonna give you a lightning round first. I want to yeah, exactly. I want that face. Exactly. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick lightning round with you. Okay. First, what was the food that you ate before you got here?
A protein bar.
Protein bar. Okay, we're gonna get a food after. Okay, last time you lied.
Oh no. Forever ago. Probably really. Oh, yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay.
Because I said I had allergies, but I really had a cold. Well, a little bit of allergies.
So that's like less of a lie and more. No, I'm not going to give you any time. Okay. Who's the first person you call in a crisis?
My mom.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Who have you ever broke up with somebody via text message?
No. But I have over the phone in a three-way call, so I don't know if that was.
Less high five then.
I'm kidding. Well, I was 12. I was 12. So, and I was afraid he was going to get mad. So I had my best friend Emily on the other line.
That is so cute. Oh my God, that's okay. Separate conversation. And since you've been in LA for about 2 years now, Trader Joe's or Ralph's?
There isn't a Trader Joe's by me, so I always go to Ralph's.
Okay,
I know, but my roommate always makes the trek to Trader Joe's, and her stuff always looks really good, better.
It seems like people it doesn't matter where you live, they'll make the 30-minute drive. So
yeah, she does.
I've learned.
So.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Maybe I should switch over.
No, I mean Ralph's is good, Trader Joe's is good. You know, the preference is just the funniest part because people are like, well, I go there and I get anyway. It's another story. Like I said, we'll talk about it later. Okay, awesome. So we're getting into you now. This is so incredible. Like I said, hearing your journey. So you've been in LA for about 2 years, right? Mm-hmm. And what was the process of leaving college and then saying, I'm going to go ahead and pursue this dream? Like, how long did that take? What were the conversations like? Who freaked out the most? That happened.
Well, when I first went into college, I actually I had a double major. I was both theater and international affairs because I love international affairs and politics. I'm kind of a nerd in that way, and I still am. Nice. But then I realized that I really couldn't commit totally to that because I knew that my heart and my soul was in acting. So I made the decision to just focus on that. And once I made that decision, I knew that I wanted to be in LA with the ocean and the sun. Because I'm from Colorado,
right.
I grew up in the snow.
Do you usually go to they were saying Garden of Gods?
Garden of the Gods.
A Garden of
yeah,
Gods.
I live right by
there. Oh my God, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, okay.
And so Garden of the Gods, for those who don't know, is basically these red rocks that I don't know very good rock science, but they slid down the mountain, right. And then they somehow ended up perpendicular. So there's just these huge rocks, red rocks, that are just like straight up and down. And then they have all these names for them based on what they look like, which they don't look like. But
right, I just like hearing from somebody who's actually from there because I've heard about it. And I'm like, what is that like? And is it cool? It's just like,
Yeah. I worked at the gift store actually.
Oh, hilarious!
Yeah, I worked there and then at this like tourist trap, which was these waterfalls in Colorado Springs. So it was really beautiful. But people would come in and they'd be like, "There's just 7 falls here. Where's the other 6?" And I'd be like, well, this is it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're just like tiny little.
And they're like, so we drove for 10 hours.
Yep.
Well, I hope your drive back is safe. Anyway, I mean, you were trying to be supportive. That's
I'd be like, buy some rocks.
Right. Awesome. So you make that move from the gift shop to, to moving to LA. Like I said, how was, reactions from family and friends and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, really in college was where they knew that was
what's coming up.
what I wanted and what I wanted to do. So that's really where it kind of started to move over. And then, everyone was really, really very supportive. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
But everyone was really, really supportive. And I think my family was nervous.
Yeah.
I think my grandma was the one who, when my dad told her that I was going to be an actor and move to LA, she just said, "Oh, Lord."
Sounds like family. Love it. Sounds like family. Sounds like family.
Yeah. So they were nervous for me, but I moved out here in August, and then by the beginning of October, I had gotten this role.
Yeah.
So that calmed their
nerves. They're like,
their nerves
she's
pretty quickly.
Great. I love that. I love it. So then we jump into 10 Days in a Madhouse. First of all, the opening scene alone, I was like, I shouldn't be watching this alone. Like, I did not like how I did that because I just started watching it for kicks. I was like, okay, I'll watch it, in between doing other things because I feel like it wouldn't be something that was, I don't know, I didn't really know what to expect, I guess, in the beginning. So I'm watching and I'm doing stuff, and then I hear screaming. I'm like, it's just my reaction. So I feel like people are going to feel the same way. It was such an incredible in, and then it was such an incredible, like, seamless out. That's how I felt like I described the movie. What about you? Being in it, watching it over and over, do you have a different outlook every time you see it?
Yeah, every time I see it, it's a really different experience.
Yeah.
When making it, I don't remember it being so sad and dark. I guess because I was just in it for those moments.
Right.
And you're just in it for the scene, and you just go through it, and then you get out of it and you can be happy again.
Right, exactly.
But when you see it all together, it's very dark because it's just dark material. And but I was also happy that we were kind of able to bring a little bit of lightness and comedy every once in a while.
Jokes here and there.
Sprinkle.
Especially in your character. I mean, playing Nellie Bly. What was it like first of all, when you got the call? Like, what was that reaction like? This is what we're looking for, and you're that person.
Well, when I first got the call, I actually didn't know what the director was talking about. I thought I didn't, because he didn't explicitly say, like, you got the role, kid.
Right.
He just kind of started talking about, the role and when we're shooting and what it's going to be like and about the character. And I'm like, he's going into a lot of detail.
Yeah, I'm like, is it about
if this
me?
is just like, for another callback or something
right,
like that.
I'll be confused.
And I didn't want to be like, so am I, because in case I didn't, and he's like, no, what are you talking about? And so I was like, I didn't know what to do.
Right, oh my gosh.
So I remember like sitting there like, am I, okay, how do I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Debating in your mind as it's happening.
Yeah, and then at the end, it was finally like, he's like, okay, so yes. And I was like, to the role? Is that what we're talking about?
This is because I just have to know. Clarification is key. I love that. It's serious. Yeah.
There's a big difference between having the role and not
talking about it and knowing how awesome it's going to be. Totally understand.
So I mean, it was really surreal, and I remember calling my mom.
Yes.
And being like, I don't know if this is real, because I had told her about it because they did a big star search and thousands of people auditioned, and there were thousands of videos online of other people auditioning, and so it was it was absolutely surreal.
It's crazy when you hear an experience like that because some people go through the typical maybe audition process or the agent or whatever the case is, and so when you hear the star search, some people are like, oh, that'll never be me, and it was totally you. Did you have that same it'll never be me thing?
Oh, absolutely. I almost didn't even send in the video because I thought, oh, it's such a long shot. I mean, I just moved here less than a month ago. Like, who do I think I am? But yeah, it was.
I know who you are. I know who you are. Super. It's incredible. So then we get into the role and set and these actors and this cast. I mean, goodness. So who did you learn from the most on set, would you say?
I mean, I learned so much. Probably the director, Timothy Hines. I mean, him and I were just, the whole way.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the cast would come in for a little bit and then leave, and then the next group would come in. And so it was like me, him, and like the production assistant, some of the crew that were just kind of like, we got really tight.
Yeah.
Really, it was really a family experience. Cool. And then with I learned a lot from Christopher Lambert when he came on.
Absolutely.
Just the way he conducted himself on set he was so friendly. He would come around and he would introduce himself to every single person, cast and crew.
Wow.
And so I learned a lot about
somebody who's been in the game. You don't always expect it.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect, but we were so fortunate to have him. He was just so kind and grateful, and he was wonderful.
So walk us through getting involved in a period piece. Like, it's very, I don't want to say it's easier because I don't really know. I mean, do you feel like it's easier to do something more contemporary, or going back into the history and really doing that research and getting to the character? What was that challenge?
I think it is, I think it is slightly more challenging. I try not to overcomplicate it and be like, oh, it's a totally different thing and they acted totally differently, because they're just people. Right. But in different, in a different time and very different circumstances. And so I really wanted to learn as much as I could about just everything at that time, what it was like being at that time and where she's coming from.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And then the costumes are beautiful.
I was going to say, did you steal anything from set?
I wanted to.
I would have taken that whole, I was like, girl, take that. I hope it's in your closet. Like, I really did. Oh God. Everything was very well, you could tell that you're sitting on set and you're like, okay, I'm in a different time period. Like, this is a whole nother story. I'm not living in LA. I'm not my age. I'm not who I am. I'm not Caroline.
Yeah. I mean, that was a huge part in getting into character with the costumes, as well as the sets that we had. We shot most of it in an abandoned insane asylum. So that was very, very
intense.
True to life. And so that really helped get everybody kind of in the mood, and also just feeling, knowing that not only was this a true story, but a version of this story also happened exactly where we were. And it was kind of spooky at times, because it's just, you could feel just that there was a lot of whatever you want to call it, energy, juju, whatever it is. There was
spirit.
A lot of stuff had happened in that place, and so I think you can really feel that in the movie too.
Wow. What can you tell us about Nellie Bly now? I mean, you've played her and you embodied her, and I think when you hear about a historical woman like that, you kind of have you just take whatever the history book gives you or whatever someone taught you. But now that you had to really get deep into her feet, what did we not know about her before?
Well, I was lucky enough to have this woman named Brooke Kroger, who is the expert on Nellie Bly. And she wrote this huge biography. It's like this big, but it reads like a fiction. Like, you go through it so fast, because it's so fascinating. It gets so deep into who she was and where she's coming from. And but having to be somebody and having to kind of soak in all of those everything that's happened to them. Absolutely. And trying to, I was really intimidated at first, because I love Nellie Bly, and so I wanted to make sure that I did her right. And I also didn't want to glorify her either, or make her into something that she wasn't.
Trying to make her perfect or anything.
Right. Because she wasn't.
Absolutely. Wow. That's great.
But oh my gosh, she taught me so much, and I learned so much from her. It's amazing how you can kind of, even though she's 100 years,
but she left such a great history behind and such a great legacy. So.
Yeah, I mean, she was amazing. So not only did she really, really make a lot of strides for women in journalism and for people in mental health, but she worked all over the place. She worked for women in divorce, for their rights in divorce, because her father had died when she was really young, and so they had a stepfather who unfortunately had PTSD from the Civil War and was extremely abusive and very, very violent. And her mother was, like, I need to get out of this. I need to get my children away from this. But unfortunately, at the time, a woman couldn't just do that. That wasn't an option. And divorce was really, really looked down upon. And I mean, even after she was fortunate enough to get the divorce and to get out of that situation, her mother still had to go to the their male
Right.
overseer or whatever they called him.
To
To get money,
yeah.
to get anything, to own land. You couldn't own land as a woman. So I think Nellie Bly grew up seeing that and seeing how unjust it was. And that was really what led her into journalism, was really to fight those battles and to uncover those truths.
Right. I love the scene when you are going to get your job and you're saying, like, thanks for having me. And they deny you that first job and you're like, well, you wouldn't have said that if it was a man or something. And I just was like, this is just so real, and I think, do you see any of what happened to Nellie Bly still current in journalism now? I mean, maybe even the way you're watching TV or watching media, do you still feel like there's some parts of these fights we have to conquer, or some part of that we still have to?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Nellie Bly was the first investigative journalist, so she was the first one of the first ones to really go undercover and really get in there. We don't have journalists doing that as much today, just because of
There's
staying
just a
objective
lot,
and problems with that. But I had a lot of female journalists that I really looked to in this role, that are modern female journalists, and I think
name a few.
Well, I looked at a lot of Katie Couric stuff. I liked her stuff, and then there was this woman, and I'm not remembering her name, but she unfortunately passed away a few years ago. But she had an eye patch, and she did a bunch of did a bunch of journalism in the Middle East. But it's like escaping me. Yeah. But she was
now I have to write
she
it
was
down.
really cool. And Nellie Bly was one of the first journalists on the front lines of World War I. Well, she was the first journalist on the front lines. And so, she was incredible. I think she made incredible strides for women in journalism. But I think today, I don't know. I mean, I didn't study journalism. I would love to hear what you think of that. But
we'll have to talk.
Yeah, because, I mean, I still see... I think women still have progress to be made.
Yeah.
I think if Nellie Bly were here today, she would be thrilled, because she was also an optimist and would see the bright side and see how far we have come.
Definitely.
And but I think she would also want to shed light on
where we need to go.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Would you say playing scenes, on set in the asylum, do you feel like those are the harder scenes for you, or what scene did you, maybe it took you longer to get there or longer to come out from? What was the hardest one?
I think the hardest scene. Oh, well, I don't want to give anything away, but
I guess I'm saying it because I know, so I'm like, ooh, which one?
But towards the end, when Nellie Bly, she visits one of her friends in the asylum, Anne Neville, and Anne Neville kind of tells her all that has been happening, and that scene was really, I don't know what struck me in the way that the woman who plays Anne Neville is Julia Chantry, and she just does a wonderful job. And I remember in the editing you can't quite see it, but when we were shooting, she would take these really long pauses to just like take in the emotion, and just those pauses, I would just it just came crashing in on me. Wow. All that these women had gone through, and it really became real to me that it had really happened. Because there's so many different, because when you're filming and watching it, it happened, and it's real, that these women were real, that this all happened. But there was something that hit me in that moment that it was overwhelming.
You're in that role, so it's different when you see a story and you're like, wow, this affects me, or this happened. But it's different when you're literally in the role and you're playing some true story.
And I felt Nellie Bly's, she knows that she can go in and she can make a difference, and that's what she's fighting the whole movie for. But you also see her. I also felt her just sadness that this even had to happen at all. That these women had to go through all of this.
Wow.
So that scene was that was rough.
Yeah. Wow.
I still get.
So your first feature film is something so in depth. And do you think you want to continue with the period piece lifestyle? Do you want to get more modern? Are we talking comedy? Like, what do we want to tackle next?
I mean, I love period pieces.
Yeah.
So I would be more than happy to do more of those. Wow. But I think ultimately what I really want to do is I really want to do films that have a message. Now I don't think that this film is like this is the message and here it is. It's not quite exactly. That. But that it's portraying things that are important, issues that are important, and maybe not prescribing a fix for them. But I think
shedding light on them.
Yeah. And that's all Nellie Bly ever wanted.
All right. Wow.
So yeah, that's what I say. And I'm really excited because the director of 10 Days in a Madhouse, Timothy Hines, him and I are doing another picture. We're working on one together.
So awesome. Are we allowed to know the name yet?
Not yet.
I'm like, secrets are just so, they're hurting.
But it's another like great drama that has a really, really strong female character that I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
This is awesome. Congratulations.
I
I'm like, I wish I could tell you and tell me now. Okay, no, okay.
But it should be kind of more info and it will come out
coming out soon. Awesome. Well, when it does, make sure you come right back to the studio. We'll chit chat. We'll perfect. What did you learn about yourself in filming this movie?
Oh.
This is the part I love to hear what an actor learns about who they are and what they can do and how much they can grow when they do, especially when they do a historic piece. But in general, like, what did you learn about yourself?
I think ultimately what this film taught me and what Nellie Bly taught me was, it sounds kind of cliche, but really how to speak up for yourself and other people. For me, I grew up, I was really shy as a kid. I was really intimidated by just adults, like teachers.
All right.
And through theater and through acting, that was really where I found a voice. But, I found that in my day-to-day life, I would still kind of hold back a little bit. And I think a lot of us do because it's just easier. But through this process and from Nellie Bly and this story, I found that I've learned so much about the importance of speaking up, about saying something.
Yeah.
Because so many of us see things, and I don't know, today, kind of maybe with social media, it's like, it seems like everybody's always talking, and so sometimes, I don't know, I kind of sometimes find myself just being like, well, everybody else has already said something to say about it. I don't know.
Exactly.
Rock the boat.
True,
but I don't know, no matter what platform, I think it's really important to say something and to stand up for what you believe.
Yeah.
But also to be always learning and always looking. Because there's one thing to see what you believe, but I think you should always be looking to find out if that's wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that's what Nellie Bly always did, was she would go into these situations and she would just, all she wanted to do was just meet people and ask them questions and talk to them and just find out.
Be a journalist,
what is your life?
Right. Wow.
And so she was always changing and learning. So I once she would listen, she would learn, and then she would speak.
Yeah.
And I think there's something really powerful in that.
I think a lot of millennials need to hear a message like that.
Listen up, millennials.
Because, I mean, it's not our, I don't want to say it's not our fault because I don't really know yet. But I think it's just interesting, like you mentioned, social media has a big influence on, what we say, how much we speak up, our opinions even, and how people think about each other. And it's interesting always finding out, does social media affect your craft at all? Does it make you tackle certain things, maybe because something's going on in the media? I mean, does that affect you at all?
I think definitely. I mean, I think because we're so much more connected to not only each other and our friends in a way, but we're also connected to the whole world. And, within 2 seconds of something happening, I can know about it.
Yeah.
And they send me a notification and here we are. And I mean, because acting is just, you're just interpreting life.
Yeah, exactly.
to the best of your abilities.
Yeah.
And so everything that's happening in the world, I feel like it's just the human I always think about we kind of have this like human consciousness or something that's always changing and shifting, and we as a people are totally different than we were in 1887.
Right. Exactly. Right. Wow.
So that's why I love like current affairs and just knowing what's going on. I really think that it has a big influence in my
what you do.
What I do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So right now TV is hot. This is to me it's the year of women, basically. I think TV right now is just, a lot of women are leading these shows and on prime time, and it's incredible to see. Is there any show right now that you want to guest star on, maybe?
Oh, I've been loving so many shows. I've loved, these are two really different shows, but
we're allowed to do that. It's fine.
I loved Jane the Virgin. I'm not totally caught up on this season.
Oh my God, high five. Gina Rodriguez is incredible.
She's amazing.
Oh my God, you guys should really do something. I just envisioned something. Continue.
I love her, and I think that show is great.
So good.
I love it. And then I love Girls. Okay. And I love Transparent. I've been watching Transparent a lot.
Wow. And they just got nominated. So
I was excited.
That's so cool. So let's think. Jane the Virgin. I'm thinking like, what character would you play? I just thought of a really good idea. Now I'm like, maybe you and Gina, maybe you should be like a friend. I don't know. Anyway, I like those. Those are three awesome shows right now.
Oh, they're great.
Wow. Okay. So we're moving into like the end of the year. This is kind of settled down time, and you've had an incredible year. It's incredible. What are we looking forward to? I know you said you're doing another feature. Do we have any other projects coming up that you're working on?
I'm really just focusing on that feature coming up, and then seeing what's in store.
Are you going home for the holidays?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going back to Colorado, so I'll have like my white snowy Christmas, and then I'll come back and be like, oh,
like I get to escape, but you guys don't. So sorry.
Okay, bye.
Yeah,
exactly.
Have fun. Do we have any New Year's resolutions?
Oh, somebody asked me this yesterday, and I was like,
right.
I don't know. I'm always kind of like, well, maybe I just won't set a resolution because then I'll prove to myself that that I'm perfect. No, I don't know.
Oh my God, we're on the same page. We are on the same page.
But I do like goals. I do like. I have like a list of goals.
All right, I love that.
So I don't know. I really. I believe in little steps.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make little steps towards just being happier and healthier. Right. That's all I ever want to be.
Do you have like a mantra? Resolutions sometimes are a little heavy. So a mantra, like a daily thing, a nice inspiration. Do you kind of go by anything?
I have a Nellie Bly quote.
Nice.
Which I loved. Her favorite quote, and what she always used to say was, energy rightly applied and directed can accomplish anything.
And writing it. I'm pretty sure it's on Twitter. I feel like it's on your Twitter. Is it on your Twitter? Did
Probably.
I see that on your Twitter?
Probably.
I feel like I did. Okay. We'll be favoriting and screenshotting later. Okay,
but I love that. I mean,
it's amazing.
Because I also love that it includes and directed.
Absolutely.
Because so many people, and myself included, put energy into things that they want, but don't realize it's always the wrong direction. And then you just end up,
wasting time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
just figure that out, people. Love that. So I always like to find out from somebody that has a success story, which it's great to see someone, you're new to the city and you took it off running. What's your advice to other people who are, they're not, some people's New Year's resolution might be move to LA. What does that look like? What would you give them advice on?
Well, I don't know if I'm the best person to give advice.
Anybody who's tackled it can give advice.
I would say one thing at a time would be my advice.
You're tweetable. I like that. You're tweetable. I love that. That's a thing.
Because I feel like so many people come here and they're like, I have to do this and this and this and this and this and this. Like, just take a breath.
Wow, I love that.
One thing at a time.
One thing at a time.
Be happy. Like,
keep it calm.
I feel like some people try and win with a sprint. And what am I to say? Because I got this movie in a month,
it wasn't
so I was sprinting in a way.
But you were, if you're focused, and if, like Nellie Bly said, it was directed correctly. So, that's what happened.
I always like to think of the marathon. Yeah. And I try and remind myself, like, it's okay. It's okay today.
Right.
It's a marathon.
Yeah. Even with that, so what is your downtime looking like? We were talking off camera that you are so outdoorsy, and I have to borrow like at least 10 seconds of that because I'm the worst. That is the truth. So sorry. And you're the hiker, the biker. You are out there. You look at the leaves. You see what color they're changing. I don't know. I feel
we do
the
have
weather.
seasons here.
I know it's nice, but I'm like, oh my god, I get to wear boots, and you're like, oh my god, I'm like, oh what? So it's so great. I love talking to people who are just really, because I mean, LA offers so much of that. So do you have a favorite spot? Is that how you spend your downtime?
Yeah, I have so many spots. I love getting to hike along any part along where you can see the ocean. Because Colorado, there aren't any oceans, just so you know.
Right.
And so any place like the Santa Monica Mountains are just beautiful.
I do love the Santa Monica Mountains. Okay, I can't say that.
Yeah.
I do try to go outside. Anyway, that's another story. So that's awesome. Do you are you having family come visit anytime soon? I know they're a full hiker and biker family. You guys are all outdoorsy.
I know. I'm hoping my brother or something will come for this summer. I'm like, we have bike trails.
Yes.
We have things.
This is great. This is great. This is for all of you, I think. That's so awesome.
Yeah, my parents just got a camper. I think they're planning to like live in it now. I don't know. That's probably not true, but I expect they're just gonna like knock on my door one day and we're like, we're here with the camper. Here we are.
You're like, go back in it.
Okay. They're like, we're gonna be in Malibu.
Right. Have you been able to discover your favorite parts of LA in terms of like place to, like Culver City versus Studio City? Like, do you have a kind of a spot that you feel like you can do all that?
I'm kind of figuring out. I'm over in Sherman Oaks right now, so
okay.
I love the 3-mile radius around me.
Yeah, there's like probably a Panera around there, which is the best.
Yeah. Walking distance.
Exactly. I had a feeling.
Yeah, and I love. We always go because we always just go straight through the mountains to Malibu for the beach. And I love the beach.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. You guys, this is Caroline. She's incredible. The movie already came out November 20th, right? Worldwide? Okay. And so is there anything you want people to know before they walk into the movie? I mean, I've given my spoilers, but I'll stop because I don't want them to be spoiled. First scene is going to be crazy. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. What do you want them to know before they walk into the theater?
That's a great question. Well, that they should go. And if they're already walking in, then they're on the right
Good job, right?
On the right track. Right. I mean, hold tight.
Yeah.
Because it's I think a lot of people going to the movie, they're not quite sure what to expect.
Yeah.
I went undercover in the movie one time, and
really?
Yeah, and with my friends, they didn't help my being undercover. They're like, yeah, and I was like, shh.
Right, like I just
keep cool.
Wow, what was the reaction like?
But it was nobody knew. Well, I think this one guy might have known.
What was the reaction of the audience?
It was really cool because I think a lot of people go in there not quite sure what to expect.
I was one, yeah.
And you can kind of feel the energy in the audience just slowly like from that first scene, just drop down like. Okay.
You have to put your popcorn down. That's really what happened. And it was caramel and it was sticky. Anyway, anyway.
Yeah, because, I mean, the movie really wraps you up.
Right.
And that's what I find even watching it. I've watched it, I can't tell you
times
how many
now,
times,
yeah.
but I still get wrapped up in it.
That's so good. I love that. You guys, so where can everybody keep in touch with you? Hopefully to find out the feature film that's coming up next. Hopefully I found out before you guys. But if I don't, where can everybody keep in touch with you? Twitter, Instagram, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm on Twitter at Caroline B007 007.
Cool.
And I'm on Instagram as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Same handle.
Caroline Berry 7.
Okay, so she made it a little simpler for you guys. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
Congratulations
Thank you so
on
much.
everything. I'm really hoping to get the spoiler after you guys, so that's why I'm wrapping up. But thank you guys again so much for joining us. My name is Stacey Ike. You guys can check me out on Twitter and Instagram at OneTakeStace, and this is Caroline Berry. Make sure you check out the film. It is awesome, incredible. I had a blast. You have caramel popcorn while you watch. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining us. See you soon.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.